don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Okay.
Okay, I like it. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, excellent.
We're going.
Hey guys.
Okay.
How
Welcome
you
back.
doing? Yeah, right. So that clip is an 80s remodel of an original that was done
So
years ago.
written by this old cunt Ingmar something in like the 20s, put on the Ritz.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
And then, and then like the song came out, and then Fred Astaire did a version of it that was massive for his era.
Yeah.
And it was huge, and then it died off, obviously, because of, the times were changing. And then Tarko was his name, the guy. He's an Indonesian-born German music maker,
Right?
And his name's Tarko, and he made this
right.
song like a 80s synth pop version.
Yeah.
And it was huge. It was like #1 in all these places. It sold like 1 million copies and blah blah blah. Like this massive hit in the 80s. And I like it. I heard it on Gold today, and I was like, because I've had it for years, but it was the first time I heard it in a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, this will be a good thing to show the boys.
Sure.
And then I was doing reading on it, and basically in the clip, there's quite prevalent. There's the use of blackface, along with whiteface and greenface and a bunch of different faces, right? But what I wanted to talk about was it doesn't say exactly on the page, but certain networks no longer show the clip because of the blackface, or they show edited versions of the blackface.
Yep.
And so this is the kind of question I wanted to put to you two. Do you think that is a bad form of censorship? Because what I reckon is, I think that if something has already been recorded and is a part of history, then you should show it in what it was.
In the context of what it was.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, but you have to be careful that you retain the hindsight element as well of going, this is inappropriate.
Yeah,
than
of course.
normalising it and being like, we're still
This
showing
is
it,
okay.
therefore it's okay. I watched a Vice clip the other day about a racism museum in America. And was full of like gollywog dolls and all these sort of depictions of racism. And that was their whole thing. It was like, we need to keep this culture alive to show people
what it was like.
What it was like and why it was wrong and things like that.
Yeah.
So making people uncomfortable is important to put history into perspective.
I think it's not a bad when you say bad way of censorship, I think that it just kind of depends on the time that you're looking at as well. Like even a good example was back, what was it, like early to mid 90s, Sam Newman on the Footy Show came out, not sure if you remember this, but he came out as Nicky Winmar, do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he just painted his face black. And like you could see Eddie Maguire's face just go, sake, like when he put his head in his hands, and that was mid 90s when it wasn't tolerated, but it was more grey area. Is this okay? Is it not? You know,
I don't think it's okay.
I don't think it's okay.
I think we all agree it's not okay.
Right.
Definite.
But my main point is that you shouldn't change what's happened. We should like what you said. We should see what's been, and like leave it as it is.
Have you guys read To Kill a Mockingbird?
No.
It's a fucking excellent book, but in a nutshell, it's about I want to say 20s to 40s, that sort of era in the South of America, southern states, and it follows the case of a black man being accused of raping a white girl. And it's always been kind of controversial because of the subject matter, but they recently, a few times it's been taken off school reading lists because it makes because it's been deemed inappropriate for students.
Right.
Because it's always been like this great work of literature and, it's always been studied and stuff. But yeah, sometimes it's been taken off school reading lists and people have always been angry about it because that's the whole point of studying books like that. Not the whole point, but like part of the point of studying books like that is to...
Yeah, and it's also why, like, when we went travelling to South America, we met heaps of Germans, as you do, right? They're more prolific than Aussies are overseas.
All over South America.
Everywhere, dude.
They all went there.
And
the Japanese.
Japanese.
They did. They're all over Brazil. It's crazy.
But my point was like the fact that all of those people that we met, they grow up learning about the Holocaust. They grow up, they educate everyone in schools about it. They understand how it was. They go through all the gory details about how and why it happened and whatever. So the German students growing up know better than anyone. What their country's issue was, which is a good thing because they don't shy away from it. They don't pretend that it didn't happen. They don't sweep it under the rug. They're just this is what it is. So I think you're right in the sense that definitely, like the context of the time, whether it's 20s, 40s, 50s, 80s now, you've got to let it play out.
So at the end of
be
it,
right.
Just show people that this is a
Not
thing that
shelter it.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not shelter it.
But it's context. Like, that's great in that context if you're educating and talking about historical
When is it wrong then?
footy show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like, it's
perfect. But
it's not okay
Yeah, but
to
that's a new thing. That's like someone coming up and doing it today, right? And going, I'm going to decide to do blackface. Whereas what I'm kind of getting at is, say, you're watching Rage or you're watching MTV or you're watching a showcase of old music videos. I don't feel that they should put an edited version of that clip on solely because of how the landscape is now.
But it's not that music clip isn't providing some sort of commentary, or it doesn't make. I don't know. Maybe it does make you think about it. I mean, we're talking about it at the end of the day, so it does make you.
I just feel that like by changing something, you're kind of changing history in a way. It's
very 1984. Have you read?
Yeah. Like his whole
job is to go through like newspaper articles and edit and remove stuff and change it.
Just doctor it to make it
that a little bit
make
better.
it make it relevant.
Am I screaming into that? It sounds.
No, wait, go talk.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Are we
So
good?
anyway.
Yep.
But if I get really passionate,
You were almost peaking, but I think that's okay.
I like the fact that it was a new style of intro song too. Yeah, that was good. Like just a different flavour of.
What have the other two been? Well, you had like
just been
80s.
I had a 80s tune, but it was more like I was more about the beat, and I don't know. I figured the reason I chose the first one was more. It sounded like the intro of a show.
Of a show.
You know?
Yeah.
I was like, I could see myself walking out to that. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Better.
Yeah. Good. Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
like
catchy song, but I think the thing
It's
that I
very
read about-
carnival, isn't it? It's like,
real weird. And he's fucking doing this
Yeah.
weird, like all his dance moves in the clip are just like, like in slow motion. There's all these people dancing together, and it's just fucking, it's real bizarre. It's real 80s, man. Like there's this one sequence in it where you just see he's walking across a balcony and there's all these people dancing in slow motion as a couple, and then fireworks are exploding out behind, like massive amounts of sparklers, and he's walking in slow motion.
Yeah.
But none of it's actually in slow motion.
Right.
And that's how the whole clip is.
So
It's just real weird. And he's got makeup on, and it's fucking...
It was like the more bizarre the better back then, wasn't it? For like video clips, and like they were just getting to know technology and like all the new like kind of kind of site. What's the word I'm looking for? Like when you
synthesize
that, but also
Zeitgeist?
No, not Zeitgeist.
drugs,
Zebra.
When you special effects, thank you. What did you say? Zebra.
I said drugs.
All the special effects, that'll do, close enough. All the special effects were just coming, like they're all a new thing, for the 80s, and so I think a lot of artists were just using them and experimenting and getting to a point where they're like, this might work, this is really new. But something like that was kind of a fusion because it was an old clip and it just had like the 80s paintbrush on it. It was like merged, between
It's also
an
such a big
old
part
fashion.
of like a song release back then.
Yeah.
Like having a film clip was a
Definitely.
huge component of
Yeah.
like the release of a song. Now
100%.
it's like, is it?
Every
Yeah.
Tom, Dick and Harry has a music video,
Yeah.
whereas back then they were new.
Yeah.
Like it was a new thing, and so a music video could make or break a single or
Yeah.
a record. Is something flying around in here?
Yeah, it's been distracting me for like 20 minutes.
Did I get it?
I can't see it anymore.
It'll be back.
I vaporized it, mate.
It'll be back.
Too strong.
And a lot of the videos were like of bands or whatnot, or of artists just performing
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like that was the clip.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Fuck, have you can't seen the come said the boy down
Mondo
Mondo
Rock.
Rock. Mondo
Yeah,
Rock.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
you seen the clip to that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking bad. It's like
seen it.
typical 80s.
It's terrible.
And it just
never-
starts with like
I'm
the
gonna look
singer,
it up.
the camera's really high on a jig,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
first shot is just like 40 seconds to a minute of just slowly coming down and getting close to him.
Yeah.
And he's just going,
Yeah.
and like where they are though, they're in a fucking car park just next to the beach. Like it's no nice location or anything. It's just a shitty fucking car park. And he's
Yeah, it's such a shame. It's such a
Great
shame
track.
too.
It's
such
so
a
good.
shame.
Yeah.
Because the song's so good. They
Yeah.
just ruined it with the clip.
they were just
funny,
figuring
yes.
stuff out. Like you said, they were figuring shit out.
They were.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Fucking hell. Oh, have you can't seen the new trailer for the fucking We Will Rock You, I think it's
Yes.
called.
Queen.
Looks
Yeah,
amazing.
dude.
We should definitely see that. for
Fucking
sure.
A, man.
Yeah,
Remy
I can
Malek
see that.
looks so much like Freddie Mercury. It's fucking weird.
He's the cunt from Mr. Robot. Yeah.
Because they were initially going to have Sacha Baron Cohen
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Well,
and,
okay.
and apparently he...
Apparently.
Apparently.
Apparently. I don't know why I always say that.
Apparently.
I say it apparently. It's weird.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Yes.
It's gonna throw me now.
All I can think of is like, and this is
stick.
apparently like Lee's the parent.
He was unhappy that the movie continued after Mercury's death. Yeah.
Right.
He was like, why people aren't going to watch it to learn about Queen. They're going to watch it for Freddie Mercury, like the story of Freddie Mercury.
Right.
And apparently Queen really wanted the movie to go on after, and it was a whole thing, so he
Yeah.
bailed. And then they got Remy Malek.
And so does that mean that the narrative of the film that you know of is going to continue past he dies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently.
So depending on how much of it is pre his death and post, you reckon it's a pretty even balance between like the movie being
I don't know.
about Queen and then post?
Maybe. I don't know.
The trailer looks like it's the Freddie Mercury show, though.
100% does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
100% does.
Which I'm stoked about.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I don't actually know the names of any of their...
That clip with him, is it Wembley Stadium when he's like, "Ba, ba, 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 ba," and the
Yeah.
whole guy's like, "Ba, ba, ba, ba,"
Yeah.
and they just follow along with him.
Yeah.
Dude had a voice.
Yeah, fucking A.
Good
Jesus.
scene, man.
Fucking A.
Good sing. They made Queen, because Queen were like the quintessential band of the 70s. Hey, like they were really like more popular than I thought they were when I first started listening to them. I was like, oh yeah, like this guy, what a voice, like great. I just thought it was another rock and roll band.
Yeah.
And went down the rabbit hole, man. And holy
Yeah.
shit, they made so much music, man.
Yeah, fucking A.
So much music.
Fucking A.
And just were like perfect, like for a live band, like that power and that, you know, that ballady rock and roll of the time. It's just timeless, man.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Every type of rock and roll song, you know, from the slow stuff to the upbeat bangers, like
Yeah.
just everything. They could do it all. I can't wait to watch that film. We definitely should watch that film.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be good.
I'm keen.
What are we drinking tonight?
So we are drinking an old favourite of mine. So the last time the last time I consumed Midori in any fashion, I was about 16 and I was in a park called the Quarry. And I remember drinking so much of it that I spewed everywhere and just ended my night and developed a taste aversion of sorts. So I'm really glad to be back.
How is it?
It's not actually that bad.
I told you, didn't I?
It's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
What are you drinking it with?
We're drinking it with lime and soda water. I've finished my first one.
Of course you did.
Sorry. I have a problem. We'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, with lime and soda water, it's delicious. It's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
this is what the kids used to drink. And I
what
don't know
they're
if,
fucking on,
I don't know if the kids,
No.
I don't know if they're still on these
What do
green
kids drink?
these green evils. What do kids drink?
What
Pulse. Did you ever drink Pulse?
Nah, man. Pulse.
Do you mean the
Do you know Pulse?
No.
You cunts never had Pulse?
No.
Maybe I'm giving it the wrong name. Pulse. Is like... It's
Pulse
like,
is a
it's
deodorant.
Red Bull
Yeah.
and vodka in a can, right?
Oh.
And they're little premix things, and they were fucking deadly. I'm going to quickly look them up. You guys continue
Okay.
chatting, and
All
I've got
right.
to show you these
All
things.
right. Good.
Cambo, if you ever watch this, mate, Pulse 101.
Pulse.
You're my boy.
Well, the Udals have been a mainstay for me. for
Yeah,
a long
true.
time.
The-
I used to
yeah.
drink them like they were going out of fashion, and they never went out of fashion.
Still drinking it.
Still drinking them.
Yeah,
To this day. To this day.
Oh, Pulse! Yeah!
Show me.
Yeah, I
Green
remember.
vodka soda
Yes.
and Garage.
Origin
300
Green
mil.
can?
Yeah, I remember those things.
Yeah.
Oh, those
Little
things
cans.
were evil.
Yeah. Thin cans.
Thin ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were fucking hand grenades, man.
Most dangerous
Oh.
alcoholic drinks identified.
Here we go.
It's ironic it's called Pulse, so fucking drop you dead.
Yeah.
Look, it is called the
Yeah.
blind beef. So,
Right.
look, like it's a relevant topic. I mean, the pulse.
Yeah, I think you should go out and try it for yourselves, kids. If you're anywhere between the ages of 13 and 17, go out, get your mum and dad to buy a couple cans of Pulse, try it out.
Yeah, you know, don't tell them where you're going or what you're doing or anything like
Don't
that.
tell them we told you.
Yeah, actually buy them one.
Yeah.
You might like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to get another drink.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back.
You may as well bring it in.
I will bring it in. And I'll
yeah.
show the listeners.
Yeah.
Just so that they know we're not lying.
Yeah. See, this position for the microphone's much better. I'm
Stop
still-
cutting your face off.
No, it's good. And I think the mic is in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, so the levels over there is you.
Do you like my new cherry socks?
I'm not a big fan of detailed socks. I'm not a fan of patterned socks. I'm a simple man. Except the thing is, I don't know how to accessorize very well, and patterned socks are an accessory.
See, I took a leap.
Did
It's
ya?
the first patterned sock I've ever bought
Right.
in my life.
Uh-huh.
Beyond the age of 11.
Uh-huh.
I like them.
Okay.
Especially, cherries. To my mind, one of the most underrated fruits out there.
You popped your cherry.
I did. With the cherries.
Socks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like perfect cherries on a hot summer's day.
Dude, I don't know.
Name a better fruit.
Watermelon on a hot summer's day?
No.
Fuck off. Are you...
Too sticky, too... Gets all over your fingers and shit.
Hot summer's day, right? Someone, for whatever reason, is forcing you to eat nothing but fruit.
Just bring it fruit.
Someone's just forcing you to eat fruit.
Yeah,
and
you
nothing
have
else,
to.
okay?
You have to choose.
And you have to choose between a cherry
Yeah.
or a nice, well-cut,
Well, you're selling the watermelon a bit much.
well-cut, perfectly triangular with a rounded edge
Yeah.
slice of watermelon.
Yeah.
What would you choose?
Think about it. Cold cherries straight out the fridge.
Yeah,
a little bit of dew on them.
One's 60% water.
Probably
One's
watermelon.
Essentially a glass of water.
I'd probably go the watermelon.
A bit at a
You'd have
time.
to go the watermelon. I couldn't find it.
I'm just saying they're underrated.
the Midori.
Yeah.
It's in this. It's in the bar fridge. Yeah, it's in the little bar fridge.
Drink it all.
Yeah. So fuck. I've got it set on the wrong fucking
What?
one of the settings. Wait, hold on. Let me just. Nah, it's good. It's good. The shutter speed is set to a different thing.
Yeah.
And that can. It can either do one of two things. It either makes the movements look really sharp, so there's no motion blur, or there's too much motion blur. And from what I'm looking at, it looks like there's a normal amount, or at least a relatively normal amount. Yeah.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah. And we're back.
Here we go.
People that get drunk.
Woo!
Very good. All right.
So, yeah, let's pick up where we left off last week. Fucking the American prison system. So
Let's do that.
You said watch 13.
Yes.
And so, like the old man that I am, I spent Saturday night alone in my house.
Perfect, mate.
And I decided to watch 13.
Good stuff. And what did you think? What was your initial reaction?
I really enjoyed it. I don't enjoy the subject matter, but it's an interesting thing to learn more about and the intricacies that are involved with all of it.
Yeah.
Can you give it a
sure.
rundown? Because I haven't watched it.
Right, so it's basically about the problem with the prison system in America and, why it's so bad, and then it all the way trickles down to how it comes to be the way that it is. And it all boils down to a single line written in the 13th Amendment. So the 13th Amendment was written in to abolish slavery, yeah? Emancipation. But within that 13th Amendment, there's a line that says all men deserve the right to their freedom. No man should ever be a slave unless, I don't think that's the exact words, unless they are a criminal or they are a convict, sort of thing.
Yep.
And then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So what they're supposing is that using that loophole, the American government has over time, how many of 100 decades and decades and decades, built newer systems to maintain a sense of slavery, right? So how can we keep slavery, but within the confines of the law and under the noses of the American people?
Yeah.
And they detail how it's been through the prison system, essentially.
Yeah.
And I could go in and say that because there's steps and there's levels to it.
Yeah.
So once slavery was abolished in the South were like, well, how do we, our entire economy is built on slaves, right?
Yeah.
And we can't just let them all leave. So what we'll do is we'll start making them criminals for fuck all,
Yeah.
So people in the South were getting them for loitering and bullshit things and keeping them in and then using them as slaves while they're in prison. And then that has just, snowballed, right? And so now... Fuck, should I go through the whole...
Yeah, no, definitely. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah,
It's fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
I've watched it, but I've watched it a little while back, so this is really good because it's rekindling the fire.
Right. So that's the first step. That's the first step. And then you have... all this stuff happens with the world wars and blah, 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 blah.
Every president has different narratives that they want to suit, and they bring that... that kind of ruling about money, about, making it easier to arrest people because it brings so much money into the system.
Right.
It's all built upon dollars.
Right.
Really.
So it's something like at the very beginning of the 1970s, there was only 250,000 people in American prisons.
This
right?
is the fucked up
And then
stuff.
Richard Nixon is like, this is when they start to develop really clever political rhetoric, right?
Yeah.
And he starts to talk about a war on crime, on crime, and
That's
a war
right.
on this, and a blah 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 blah. But when you
War on
really
drugs.
but that's next. That comes next in the next decade. But when you boil that down to, and there's a word for it, it's called like dog something. I'm not sure, but basically that's a way of saying African American people, minorities, blah 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 blah, without really saying it, you know.
Yeah.
And so you build this rhetoric up and all this shit, and so they double the police force and all this shit, and they're hunting for criminals, and they're once again demonizing African Americans. Then the 80s come, and we've got Ronald Reagan, right? Yeah. And the show Cop starts. That's another really big thing that's tied into all of this. And then Ronald Reagan's thing is, not only should we be tough on crime, but we need to start a war on drugs, right? Which is another thing, you know? So now they once again, they like triple the police budget, blah, 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 and they start incriminating more and more people, African Americans, Mexicans, people that are involved in these sorts of things. And sending them to prison. And so what happens, a really defining moment in the 80s is crack cocaine comes out, So before that, there was all the drug campaigns, marijuana's this and blah, blah, blah. And so Mexicans were getting arrested for marijuana, black people were getting arrested for heroin in the 70s. In the 80s, crack cocaine comes along, and because, the media catches a wind of this, and then they run with it, and they create this whole, fear campaign and all this shit. And so they change the law around what sentencing happens.
Well, they have mandatory minimum.
That's
sentencing.
Yeah. That's what Clinton brought in. That's what. So that's the next step.
Right.
Yep.
But before that, sorry. So with crack cocaine, so the equivalent is they changed the law for how you can go to prison if you've got crack compared to if you've got cocaine.
Normal
so
coke,
cocaine's the suburbs. That's like all the celebrities are doing cocaine. It's a powder. No one, so it was like you could get caught with 10 ounces of cocaine, and that was the same duration prison sentence as getting caught with 1 ounce of crack.
Wow.
Sort of thing. So it's a hugely disproportionate sort of thing. And so people were getting caught with tiny little amounts of rocks and getting sent to prison in en masse at this point, And so a thing that really I thought was interesting, where they talk about, so this segment, right, you've got this massive boom. Okay, sorry, I need to say the next thing and then this other thing. Then we get to the 90s, right, and Bill Clinton comes along, and he's the first Democratic guy that's really getting a foothold in American politics.
Yeah.
And it's because what they say is that everyone's fighting for the same things. For the last 2 decades, it's always been a war on crime, a war on drugs, a war on this.
Yeah.
Whereas you need to be tough on crime, but in a different way, And so he was very clever, and his, speechwriters were very clever. They took a different approach of bolstering just the defense of the nation, rather than fighting criminals. We just need to make our forces stronger, sort of thing. And simultaneously while doing that, he brought in mandatory sentencing, mandatory minimums, as well as this other thing that was real fucked up. Mandatory minimums and the 3-strike policy, right?
Yeah.
So 3 felonies of any capacity, and you go to prison for life.
X amount of time.
Mental.
For life. Yeah, with no chance of parole. So what happens is, it's fucked up, dude.
Was that for any crime though? That wasn't
any
for-
felony charge. Any felony charge.
Okay.
And so what happens is, and this is, I thought this was really amazing. It sucks, but it's like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
You've got the 80s and the 90s, right, where you're locking up, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, particularly African American and Mexican people, Spanish people on fuck all charges, right? And so what one of the speakers does in the movie, and he goes, back in the 60s and all this stuff, we had a generation of, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all these pioneers that were willing to stand up and fight for a cause, because they believed that they were being done wrong.
Yeah.
When you cut out an entire generation of young black men who might be minor criminals, you remove that notion of revolt and, defending yourselves. So what that left was a massive vacuum of a power of leaders and shit, of people that could actually rise up and do something about it. So that's why you've got this whole single parent sort of upbringing that happened in the 90s, and that's where the rise of gang violence and mass murders in the streets and blah 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 because no one's there to lead.
There's no role models.
There's no role models, right? Anyway, so Clinton does this, and basically, at this point, you've got from the 70s 250,000 people, and then by the end of the 90s, it's like 1.5 million people in prison at this point, and privatized prisons start to come into play, and then big money starts to happen, and then there's this thing called ALEC. Right, which is basically, and I only just learned about this through this documentary. It's absolutely fucked, right? So it's a department of government that has, not like lobbyists, it's different, but you have company sponsors, Coca-Cola, FedEx. Fucking literally anyone with an amount of money can then be involved with ALEC, and ALEC helps make laws. So you have a member from Coca-Cola, or a couple of members of Coca-Cola in the ALEC thing. You get laws made based on what your corporation makes, depending on how much money you're spending, right?
Yeah.
And so in recent times, ALEC has lost a shitload of corporate sponsors, and the only people that are still really saying we're with them, we're sponsoring blah blah, are these institutions that run privatized prisons, and so the whole movie is just saying like it's a way to continue slavery, which is case in point, sorry, it's like 1 in 3 African men are supposed to go to prison, whereas 1 in 10 white men are supposed to go to prison in their lifetime. So slavery's still around. There's more people involved in it now than ever because they have the when you're in prison, they force you to work, make garments, blah, 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 Victoria's Secret. All these companies use it. That's the main thing. And then the other thing is, they've been doing this since slavery was abolished, and they're just very clever at coming up with new ways of doing propelling this thing. We know that it's going to happen again. We just don't know what it is. And so the footnote of the film is what Alec's trying to do now. Is this new thing called, it's like something to do with bails and bonds. So now they're making it. The example that they give is an African American guy who was charged with a crime. They thought that he'd raped this chick or done something wrong or blah blah blah. And he's like, I didn't do that. And so what they do is they give you a plea bargain, right? So they go, well, you can either go to trial, right? And you might get 10 to 15 years, or if you just accept a guilty plea right now, we'll give you a year and a half.
That's been around for a really long time. That's a common prosecution method of obtaining a guilty verdict.
Yeah, but what's happening is, so that's a thing, yeah? But they also make it impossible for that individual to post bail.
To say no.
To post bail and to say no because of their economical status, So you're going to be in prison waiting for your trial, which could then potentially give you more time. The only way to get out and wait until your trial comes is to post bail or admit guilt. Bail is far too excessive for you or your family could ever afford. So you're essentially in prison regardless of what you choose, you know? And so this young man goes, no, I'm innocent. I know I'm innocent. I'm going to wait for my trial. And so he spent 3 years in a maximum security prison waiting to go to trial, right? And there's footage of him being in prison, being assaulted, blah, 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 all this shit, constantly under attack from guards, from other prisoners, all this shit, right? And then finally, at the end of it, he didn't even go to trial. They just wiped his case clean. They're like, we don't care. We were acquitting you of all the stuff that you've been charged of.
3 years down the track.
3 years down the track, man. Right? And he goes, no one ever does this. No one ever goes to trial. I'm like, one of the only people that's ever said no to this thing, and then he ended up hanging himself 2 years after being free.
Fucking hell.
And he wasn't a snitch, he wasn't a criminal, he wasn't anything. But this system, it's designed to incarcerate.
Well, this is what people talk about when they talk about institutionalized racism. Just because it's not someone on the street shouting racial slurs. It doesn't mean it doesn't still exist. Or that it's ingrained in the institutions and the systems that we have as a society. It's still there. The system is so stacked against you. You're not a white male that comes from a relatively educated, well-off background.
I think
good luck to you. You know what I mean? Fucking all the power to you.
I think it's really sad as well, man, because I think the good thing is that it's on Netflix and people can watch it and we can have this conversation. That's far and away removed from what it used to be. It was swept under the rug and no one talked about it and whatnot. But I mean, if you've got a country that's built on, on that foundation of
land of the free.
Well, yeah, it's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you've got a country built on the foundation of levels and orders. Like with the white man at the top, and then those different kind of races stacked, and no one will admit that freely. But everything points to that.
100%.
Everything, and it goes to the core of companies that want to make money, like even the fact that they build so much infrastructure like prisons for money making machines. They need to incarcerate thousands and thousands of people to maintain these institutions. That's what I got from that whole thing. It's like they go out of business. So they can't afford to go out of business. It's a business. Putting people in jail is a business.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And
you should not be able to make a profit from putting people in prison.
It's so sad.
Putting people in prison should be a punishment and like what's the other word for it? Where they, it puts you off doing something.
Prevention.
Yeah.
This is the thing that they talk about in the film that was fucked up as well. Is like you've committed a crime, right? Your punishment for doing that is going to jail for X amount of time. That's your punishment, And at the end of it, if you are a relatively level-headed thinking person, that person has served their time. They have repented for their sins in a way. They should be allowed to live as a regular person. What happens to criminals, felons in America? They can no longer vote. It's now impossible to get a job. They're put on huge no-fly lists, all this stuff, and they are treated as sub-citizens. Even after they've committed their crimes. So it's like this. It's fucked.
There's no way out.
There's no way
out. Once you get arrested and you're in jail, see you later.
How are you supposed to earn money and provide for a family?
It's impossible.
Well, good luck having the black population be successful if they can't vote in their interest or get jobs and work their way to a successful career.
Yeah.
But what sort of the thing that puzzles me is the fact that what choice does someone have? Like if you're in a position where you're a young black male or female in America and you grow up, in a slum or on the streets or whatever, and your family's, maybe usually a single party home, like, father or mother. And they get to a point where it's not a level playing field. There's just no equal opportunity. You grow up through the ranks, you might get the odd one that gets a sporting scholarship here and there. And I'm generalizing here, obviously, but at the same time, there's not as much opportunity for that person as there is for the white man down the street.
100%.
That's why it's frustrating when people are like, "Oh, how long ago was slavery? How long were the slaves freed?
Well, it's here now.
Surely by now you should be able to." It's like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it at all. Like just because that so the Emancipation Act was enacted, it doesn't mean that
everybody's
on, like you said, a level playing
field.
Did you watch How to Make Money Selling Drugs?
It's a good doco.
Great documentary. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's really eye-opening about the war on drugs, and presented in like a really engaging way. But like I was thinking, now you have the war on terror as well. It's just going to keep, what's next? All their political talks and all that stuff. It's a way. It's very cleverly ways to keep a group, your society, involved and encapsulated on one thing, so that they're not looking at some other shit and going, "Why aren't we solving this problem? Why aren't we doing that?" It's like the war on terror is important. I think if there's a direct, threat to a large portion of your population,
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying a van attack is a tragic thing, blah 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 blah, but you don't need to be spending billions and billions of dollars trying to sort that out. What you should be doing is putting solar roof panels on every house in a nation, right? You should be you should be building up your education system. You should be doing other things, right? Rather than just keeping everybody afraid and everybody dumb. But that's what they want. That's what I think.
Build a hospital, not a prison.
Yes.
It's a pretty simple thing.
But afraid and dumb.
At the same time.
Fuck yeah, man. You nailed it. That's how they want you. Afraid and dumb.
For sure.
Pigeonholing you in a box. Because they don't want... And that's the other thing that brings back to what you're talking about. How the Malcolm X people, all these people that were crusaders, if you will.
You calling these people, huh?
Look, man. Supermen, what are you, painting them? But like those role models, they've been cut out, really. They're not there because of that fact. They've been kind of, just bypassed in a way. It's really, really, really sad.
I was reading an article the other day about
terrible.
the science industry in Australia and how over the last 15 years you've had this huge exodus of scientists in a lot of different fields.
In Australia?
Yeah, in Australia, because the federal government has basically cut a lot of the funding to organisations like CSIRO, you know, who obviously are a major body for scientists in Australia. So you have same situation where you have all these people who've trained for years and years and years to become experts in their field go, well, effectively there's no work for us here. So we're going to go to places like France and other countries that are happy to invest in having these scientists. But then, again, you have this gap where you have all the young scientists who are coming up and they have no one above them to welcome them. So they've kind of got to make up their own shit on the way and figure it out for themselves. They don't have that guidance or those mentors. And so effectively we're you know behind ourselves now.
Dude, the fuck thing about that as well, and it's like it's worth mentioning, is they've cut the funding but only for certain types of research, and that's the thing that I thought was most interesting about that article. So it's like there's still huge amounts of, you know, millions of dollars going into coal research, fossil fuel research, all the things that bolster
the Australian economy.
Right? For, you know, terrible
Does
ways.
it though?
Of course.
Does it? I would say it bolsters certain people's pockets.
Yes.
It does.
Other
It
things
does.
that
Big,
bolsters the
political
economy.
leaders at the time, right
companies.
now, you know,
And their friends.
and their friends, for sure.
The fat cats, man.
And so that
Gina Reinhardt.
Oh, mate.
Talk about fat cat.
True.
Yeah, these scientists have a moral dilemma. It's like,
Yeah.
do I stay here and earn the big bucks doing something that's fucking awful, or do I go overseas where I'm going to get paid really well and actually benefit the world? You know, it's I've got a couple mates who are engineers, and I haven't seen a lot of them in a long time, but a few of them when they first left, one went and worked for Mobil, right? So like largest company on planet Earth the last time I checked. One went and worked for fucking BHP and blah 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 blah. All these massive things, earning massive dollars. And then when I saw one of them recently, the one who worked for Mobil, I was like, "How you going, mate? What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, look, you know, I've taken a bit of time off work. It's just not for me, man. It's soul sucking. I just want to go and live on the beach and surf and, you know, do something that's good for society. And I couldn't be that person anymore.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Like, because it's very much to the point where if you're in a position where you're a qualified professional, say you're an engineer or whatever it might be, and you're morally kind of tied because you're walking into a $200,000 job potentially and not really having your heart in it, and also knowing that you're not really doing the right thing by the planet or by people or whatever. But it's very hard to knock back that sort of remuneration.
I know.
So they're kind of in a bind, aren't they? You know, for those people that are kind of grappling with that.
It's
tricky, man. Like,
look, I mean,
some people wouldn't give a fuck. They're like, dude, $200,000 a year, sign me up.
Fucking A.
Obviously, but
when you go from earning like peanuts and eating meat meringue all the time, and then someone's going to give you triple figures.
Have you watched a documentary called The Merchants of Doubt?
The Merchants of Doubt.
The Merchants of Doubt is fucking fascinating. So basically, it uncovers this thread throughout industries.
I'll pour it for you if you want.
Over the last sort of, I want to say 80 years.
Thanks, mate.
Of these industries hiring people to sow doubt in the public minds in regards to their industry. So it started with tobacco.
Right.
So the tobacco industry obviously knew pretty fucking early on that tobacco is a harmful product and it's going to cause serious problems for their profit margins if people find out and leave their product, abandon their product. So they hired these people to inject doubt into the public debate around the science of whether tobacco is harmful or not. So these people would conduct interviews, they would write articles and write scientific papers that were
disingenuous.
The only purpose was to put up an opposing voice to the voice of science, being like, hey guys, tobacco's pretty fucking bad for you, you should probably stop smoking. And so these people would stand up and be like, well, the science isn't settled, there's no 100%, scientists don't all agree, classic sort of stuff.
Mate. Oh shit.
And this thread continues, so certain industries will keep using these people, and like, I don't mean the same kind of people. I mean, like the same people.
Literally the same kind.
Literally the same people would be hired by now.
Can I have that fucking cup? That
Which one?
Coaster.
This one?
Coaster.
That's the word.
Shawshank Redemption. Chicago, you're out of there.
Oh, God.
Great film.
So good.
Side note.
So yeah, the fossil fuel industry hiring the same people to stand up and be like, well, the science isn't settled, we're not sure, and rah rah. And these people are interviewed, and they're like, yeah, I'm not a scientist, but I play one on TV, and their whole thing is to go in and just be like, well, it's a debate.
Yeah.
People aren't sure. And so the public is like, well...
How do you fucking live with yourself
This is
defending
my question.
these sorts of industries?
How do you go to bed tonight and be like, good day's work?
Yeah. That's terrible, man.
It's made out of money, mate. Fuck. That's the only way. They get paid. Like, have you seen Thank You for Smoking? So is there more? Like, am I cutting you off?
No. It was just like to continue on that idea of like, these fucking cunts that are screwing over the planet for
money.
For money, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're here for a good time, not a long time.
Have you seen Thank You for Smoking?
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
With Brad Pitt?
No. Cunt looks a bit... He's Two-Face. He's Two-Face from Batman, the new Batman. Or the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight.
Right. No, I don't think I've seen it.
Fuck, it is so good! Dude, it's one of the best films I've seen in ages.
Really?
And basically, it follows this guy. He's the king of spin, and that's what he does. He's the guy that represents big tobacco, right?
Yep.
For these cases. So he goes and does interviews. He writes things, he blah, blah, blah. And he's their king of spin,
Okay.
And it's about him in this industry and blah, blah, blah. And he can sell anyone and any idea and all this shit. Yeah. And they have this little thing where he has a meeting, like his two best mates are the same people, but one works for the firearm department and one works for alcohol department.
That's
and
funny.
they sit around and they have like pissing contests about how many people their industries kill every year and shit. Like,
that's awesome.
but the movie's so really stylized. It's really funny,
Yeah, okay. Is it based on a true story?
I'll watch it. That sounds really interesting.
I can't remember. Okay. I can't remember, but it's fucking sick. Yeah.
I guarantee. Obviously, there was another school shooting in the States.
Santa Fe.
Yeah, Santa Fe.
And I guarantee that
I'm gonna smoke in here.
People like that would be hired by the firearm industry. There would be lobbyists who would just be hired to inject that debate.
Yeah.
What do you want?
There's filters behind the monitor. Can you get them for me?
Yeah.
Inject the debate on what? About what?
Hired
on gun rights.
Right.
As in gun lobbyists would hire people to do the shooting.
No. If a shooting occurs, there would be people whose job it is to go out and muddy the waters in the debate around, the worth of human lives or gun rights. You know what I mean? So there would be people that would stand up and be like, well, this is in our the Second Amendment, it's in our, Constitution, this is our right to bear arms and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The government can't take away our guns or that shit.
Yeah.
There'd be people out there, that's their job.
Oh, no doubt.
Mate,
Without doubt. I think it just comes, obviously it's not going to change, anything that's been spoken about. When you've got people in power that are obviously in the pockets of the NRA and in the pockets of these massive companies, I don't think that's something that's going to just, they're going to flick a switch and go, oh, this shooting means that we're going to change.
No.
It's not going to happen like that.
And the sad thing is, and the scary thing is, at this point, it's like the apathy is setting. Like you hear about another shooting and you're like, what's new?
Exactly.
What's new?
There's no shock value anymore, is there?
No.
There's no shock value.
And so, how is that going to generate any sort of meaningful traction with change? Like, if
no doubt, the conversation has been probably more intense than it ever has been around guns and gun control.
Yeah,
it's been gaining momentum.
Well, I hope so. Like, I'm purely on the side of gun control.
Whether that's
can't take away their guns, but you got to be smarter about who you give guns to
I just think,
and how you sell them. Fucking how do you just lose a lighter? Every time you get a lighter, you lose a lighter.
I reckon lighters. Do you reckon lighters?
Do you
reckon lighters are the most common thing to lose? Like when you or sunnies.
Yes,
sunnies are mine. Sunnies are mine.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate losing sunnies, man.
There's a black one around there.
Every
there's
fucking
a black one.
time.
Yeah.
And pens. Ugh.
Pens, yeah.
Yeah, big.
Lighters.
Make lighters and pens.
Yeah.
Two most commonly lost things.
Yeah. Now that's smart by Bic.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
They're onto
That's
something.
a
Bic.
business model
Bic,
right there.
Now Bic. I want to have a coffee with the
Fucking
guy that runs Bic.
Yeah.
He knows his shit, Bic.
They are,
Mr. Bic.
Well, that's another thing. Like, what do they call it when they deliberately make a
Segue,
product
guns
fail?
to pens. Lovely.
What the fuck
The
is
pen
it?
is mightier than the gun.
Obsolescence. Planned obsolescence.
Plans up
Where a product will
Planned obs.
deliberately fail
Yeah,
after
yeah.
a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
so you've got to buy a new one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm convinced they do that with phones, bro.
They do
Oh,
that with
they
phones.
do.
It's been
phones,
proven.
Phones
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fucking 100%.
Apple
You know?
came out and said
2
that
years? 3 years?
They
They were
admitted
slowing
to
them
it.
down.
Did they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what
Really?
they did as not, I don't think reparations is the right word here, but to pay back their clientele, their customer base.
Yeah.
Rather than they just said, we'll give you a spare battery for whatever phone you have
Sick.
in a set of like in phones that don't take spare batteries. That's what they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah,
Like,
cool.
oh, no, that's what it was. We'll give you a replacement. Like, if your phone runs out of a battery at any point, you can take it into an Apple store. We'll give you a new battery in that phone. Right.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool story.
How about you
Let's
just make a phone with a good
let's
battery?
provide a replacement
Yeah.
for something that will definitely not happen.
God.
Yeah, so 2 years, 3 years, yeah, they're dodgy, man. God, the phone companies, man. Oh my god. I think it's like, what have I had my phone for now? Only like 6 months. And it's already like the battery life's going down.
Less and less and less.
Yeah, yeah.
You got a new
battery
iPhone?
life is
Yeah,
terrible,
nah,
man.
Samsung. It's good, great phone, but it just...
But you can replace the battery
I need
on
to
Samsung,
have...
can't you?
No.
You can't.
Used to be able to.
Yeah.
Not with this one.
Okay.
See,
They're,
the
they're
thing
watching.
was-
They're
I thought-
always watching.
I thought Samsung were fucking on the up and up. With,
No, they're good.
with good battery life and blah blah blah.
This
blah,
battery
and
life
all
is not
shit.
that great, man.
No?
It's not that great. It's probably the fact that I use it heaps, but it just seems to be... It'll probably last me maybe 12, 13 hours of like use. And
See,
then
that's
it'll die.
alright.
That's fine.
My
That's
iPhone-
all day.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My phone will die by 5 p.m.
If I've got it on Google Maps driving though, it fucking drains like a bitch, man.
Yeah.
Like that'll cut it out by a few hours
Right.
every day.
Fuck, did you guys see the thing that I tagged us in about the microphones in our phones and everything are listening all the time to target our ads?
The guy on the desktop.
Yeah,
wasn't it? That
yeah.
fuck- with the dog toys.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Come in.
So
dude,
this
that's
I think
guy
Facebook hit it from me.
ridiculous, man.
They didn't give me the
So
notification.
fucked up, man. The guy freaked out.
freaked out, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple flaws
Was he
in
just
his
like
test.
saying dog toys?
No.
for a week?
No.
So what happened was he goes, he's got one camera angle on him like we have now, and then he's got also the same feed of his computer screen, and he gives some preamble to what he goes. Basically, there's whispers that we're always being listened to, and they're using that to target ads to us all the time. So I'm going to not talk about this certain topic. We're just going to have a discussion to the camera, but then I'm going to talk about this,
it
and
down.
he shows a sign to his webcam or whatever's recording him, and it's written on it, says dog toys, and he says, I'm not going to say anything for a second, and I'm going to do a test. And so he loads up a bunch of different websites, like 7 or 8 websites,
Yeah.
all different, like news, entertainment,
Yeah,
blah blah blah,
basic websites.
and all the targeted ads for all different random shit, right? And he goes, okay, that's what the ads were. Close it all down, completely force quit out of Chrome, and then he reloads up all the same. He doesn't load anything up, and then he just starts to have a conversation as if he was talking to someone else about dog toys. He's like, oh, I really need to get a new dog toy for old Skipper. You know, he really wants the little plush one or the fucking so-and-so one, and I just need a good dog toy. Maybe something colourful. And he
Maybe
talks-
red, maybe black.
Yeah.
When it's off. When the computer's off or when it's on?
The computer's still on and his phone is still
But
on.
Chrome
right?
is down.
The Chrome is completely
Chrome is
down,
off.
right?
Yeah.
And he's talking, and he talks for about 50 seconds, and then he goes, okay, I think that's enough. And then he loads up the exact same websites, and the first fucking website that he loads up, those same ads, they load for a second,
Yeah.
and then bam, dog toy, plush toy, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no fucking way. No fucking way. And he clicks on one of the links, and that's one of the things where someone in the comments has said, by clicking on the first link,
Yeah.
you've then given a notion to a bunch of the other websites to load relevant
Yeah,
ads.
yeah.
But he's already loaded the previous websites, though. He's already opened up
Yeah.
the web pages. Anyway, like a large proportion of the websites all have targeted dog ads, you know, dog toy ads, and dog cleaning ads, and blah 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 blah, and all this shit. And he freaks the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
And so, oh fucking whatever. A thing that I thought was interesting as well was, what does he say? He says when he's doing his test, and he's saying, I want something that I can afford. I really want an affordable dog toy. And he doesn't think about this, but he made a second video talking about the first video. And he says the word afford about 4 or 5 times in the preamble about dog toys. And then what one of the commenters has noticed, and he's noticed, is that some of the targeted ads are about Ford cars. Which is even like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah.
If it was listening and using a webcam.
Like, how does that even happen? Like, do they... I mean...
Apparently it's in the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. So in, I think Facebook?
Yeah.
In Facebook's... Or
But
Apple.
if Chrome... Well, this is maybe a technical question, but if Chrome's actually not open, like the application's not open, how do they still receive that data?
No idea.
How do they...
Well, your shit's on all the time.
Yeah.
If your phone is on, then your microphone is on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And if your computer is on, your webcam's on usually. And it's always on. And you've got to think about it. A company like Google that would have petabytes, which is like, I don't know how many amounts of terabytes.
Yeah.
They have that data storage. They have it there. Why wouldn't you record everything all the time? You know? And if you have supercomputers, large amounts of them that can crunch that data so quickly, and you've got now, like we spoke about last time, self-learning algorithms, deep learning programs that can then analyze that data in a fraction. You're throwing away money because you know what it's worth by not recording
it.
You know?
Yeah. Well, we saw it with Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
Well, was that like a month ago? Everyone seems to have just forgotten about that. Accepted it.
Yeah. You know.
Hang on, say that again. Cambridge what?
Cambridge Analytica was a political... I don't even know the right term to describe them, but that basically they are a company that political parties would hire to gather information on electorates and people so that they could manipulate political campaigns to the best of their ability.
By targeting ad campaigns, certain types of dialogues and blah, 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 when people are using the internet and their phones and stuff like that.
Right.
And then it was revealed that, Trump had used them to access like 80 million American voters to sway vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But... people don't give a shit because they like looking at memes and their Snapchat has a cool filter and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, no one realizes it, do they? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors, really. If they can get away with it and do it on the
but if it's unobtrusive enough,
which
it's not like you have a camera.
No, it is, but it is fairly
over your
unobtrusive.
bed.
Yeah.
So
there's no privacy anymore, is there? Really?
No.
I think it's what I find really. Like, they're so smart. Like, you guys have read 1984,
Yeah.
And they talk about having a screen, a camera in the room all the time, right?
Yeah.
And in the book, it's forced upon them. You can't. There's no way that you can get around that. It's a government incentive. Like, not an incentive, sorry, but it's forced. You know. But what we've done it to ourselves. You know, we've put them in our own homes because we want them, and the people with the powers that be are like, fucking sick. You're fucked. You're all fucked. Good luck.
You've made your bed, man.
Yeah. And the more technology we get, the more it's going to be like, eventually we're going to have chips in our brains and the internet's going to be in your brain, right? And then you can't hide anything. All your thoughts are going to be zip.
Your stack. I started watching Altered Carbon.
Did ya?
Good show.
It's
really cool show.
Really good.
Yeah,
man.
it's really good, man.
Really good.
It's fun. Like the first and second episode, I was still kind of getting my bearings on what was happening. It was a bit all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
But then, I'm into it now. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Like the whole sleeve mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it fucks everything up. Like, you don't know who's who sometimes. And it's like, whoa, like, it's really hectic. Like, a person can be in a chip, essentially.
And imagine dying and then we bring you back and you're like, it's 400 years
and
later.
Also, there's a lot of...
some shit's changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues there to explore too. I mean, like, where the rich can afford to live forever. You know what I mean? Don't have the money... Bad luck, kind of thing. You know, dog eat dog world.
How does religion come into it?
Yeah, it's fucking really cool show.
So how deep are you into it?
Episode 7.
So you seen the one with the grandma?
Yeah.
Oh, how good is that episode?
When they bring her back for Halloween.
Yeah, it's so sick. And the guy's like, and he's playing with the kids and shit. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah. He's swearing.
I got a penis.
He's in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
So good. It's a great show. So I think, but something like that.
Smoky in here now. Sorry.
Yeah, mate. Look, it's alright, mate. Smoke down and dirty, mate. We
Why not?
always just smoke. It's fine.
Why not?
But I think that that whole kind of premise of being able to prolong your life and like change who you are and whatever, like we might even get to that point. I mean, who fucking knows?
We definitely are.
Like, we're maybe not on the doorstep right now, but it's something that will happen, I reckon.
I watched a
Evolution.
thing. There was a guy who was on Facebook. He built a prosthetic arm out of Lego, and he's doing this shit with humans are so fucking smart. Give it 100 years,
true.
And with enough tinkering and just experimenting, who knows? Who knows what we're going to do?
Yeah. Aliens, bro.
They're here, man.
They're here.
Fuck, mate. They were in the car park the other day.
Hey,
see?
look, I'm telling you.
I
I sent that video to one of those fucking YouTube pages, and the guy's like, maybe it's just a weather balloon. I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe
that's
maybe
what we thought.
But maybe it isn't.
Maybe it isn't.
You see a UFO?
Well, I reckon we did.
He was convinced. I thought it was a paper bag.
No, but it's shiny.
It's on the ground.
But it's shiny.
But it
shiny,
glimmered.
and it's not.
It glimmered.
It's glimmering, and it's changing its shape, and it's moving weirdly.
The more you look into that shit, the more it looks back.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm so deep.
Did
you listen to Mysterious Universe? Sorry.
No, you're right.
No, I don't. I don't listen to podcasts.
He doesn't even listen to ours, man. What is he?
I really don't. I don't. I make sure I skip to the bits where we put in little pictures where I know I've got to put up little pictures, and then I just I'm done with it.
So once you hit stop recording, it's just you don't think about it anymore.
That's fine. Look, we've got to. Well, that just means that we've got to make better podcasts so you can actually want to listen to them.
Right.
Yeah,
I listen to myself a lot.
Maybe that's what the challenge is. Yeah, true.
What I find though is that I rarely have because a podcast is, from my understanding, between 45 minutes plus.
To what?
It's a time.
It is
the good ones, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And I rarely find myself with that much spare time where I can
devote attention to it.
Exactly,
I'm the same, man.
Because I can't listen to one thing and really take it in and then actively do something
shit.
else.
I'm the same, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like that's why it's hard for me to listen to podcasts. Like Joe Rogan's a good example. Great content. Love listening to everyone I've listened to. I've enjoyed. But I can't do other things and listen to that. Like I can't do two things at once very well.
Yeah.
If I'm doing something, I won't listen to. I'll just take in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Whereas if I listen to it, I've got to just listen to it.
So it's got to be like
it's either in the car,
or something
that's
passive.
okay. But
if it's a passive activity, you're at the gym or you're cooking
or
you're driving or something like that, then you can take it in.
True.
But if you're trying to do something else, having 5 people chat in
I can't
here
do it,
is
man.
not
I can't do it.
doable.
Even the gym, I struggle with that. Like gym for me is just all music.
Yeah, I need
It's just music. Like hearing someone talk, I can't just be like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you want to be pumped up, and
it's
music
not going to
pumps
motivate
you up.
you.
Yeah, it's like the thing. It's another segue, but where you said about having 5 people in your ears. What was I watching or listening to? It was something about it was an really old school test about trying to emulate the effects of schizophrenia, what it might be
is that
on people.
Like a YouTube thing?
I think it was a YouTube
Pretty sure
thing.
I've watched. Yeah.
Yeah, and this old experiment that they used to do was they would have, because they picked young children, like small kids from school or whatever, and they would sit them down opposite each other, and they would go, have a conversation, right? Have a conversation. They would record both people, and then someone... no, that's who told me. My mum's partner was telling me about it, and he's a teacher, and he was saying that in this huge book, that's what it is. It's like this encyclopedia of old school methodologies to psychology and mental illness and all this stuff, and trying to solve it. And one of these early tests that they did to try and emulate what it's like for schizophrenia was with the children. Anyway, so we'd be sitting here having a conversation, and then they'd have 2 people, right, with massive tubes in the ears, and then the people at the end of the tube would whisper like, you know, centers, and the kid just had to try and focus on the other person, and have a conversation, and then you could just see how difficult that was, and how it changed their mentality.
So they were talking to them, and they were kind of trying not to listen or told to focus on another person, but they obviously couldn't help.
Can you imagine how hard it would be functioning in day-to-day life when you've got people whispering in your ears?
Yeah,
and often quite aggressive, you know, horrible stuff that is, because it's in your head and it's coming from yourself. It's stuff that is in touch with your own insecurities as well. So it's along that line of like really hitting the points that are going to hit you.
Fuck you up,
and then it's so fascinating. Like sometimes people have a nice voice as well, like a really reassuring voice and stuff like that. And so they've got this battle.
Fucking love one of those from time to time.
Angel and the Devil. Angel and the Devil.
Great track.
So what was that's right. What was the results of the test?
Oh, it was just like that. They were just trying to emulate
prove that it couldn't.
What it might be like. You know, there's footage of schizophrenics, blah, 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 and then they have obviously described what it's like for some of them. Some of them get visual hallucinations, some are auditory hallucinations, and it's all on a scale of severity, right?
Yeah.
And so they figured that children were a good control because some, I don't know the statistics, but schizophrenia can manifest itself
Hey!
later.
Hold on. Word of the week. No, that was the other word of the week.
Later in life, it's rare that a child will have schizophrenia, you know?
Well, it's normally late teens, isn't it? Like 18, 19, it sort of starts to kick in.
Right, something like that, you know? And so they figured children are a good control group sort of thing. And what it was just seeing like what it was for someone that definitely doesn't have any other external influence happening.
Right.
My understanding.
They're raw, so they can be molded.
Precisely.
If anyone wants to try this, there are videos on YouTube where you can just search schizophrenia test headphones or something like that, audio. And you can actually, it has it. I think I'm pretty sure it's binaural as well. So you have one voice in this ear, another voice in this ear. And if you try to read something yourself, it's fucking impossible. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of it out there.
Yeah, or if you think you're a schizo, you know.
They don't need it.
Try.
Just read a book.
Just to confirm it, you know, like just
maybe
confirmation.
But what if you're actually schizophrenic, right? And then you did one of those tests, and then the voices that were artificial, and then you had normal voices. It's kind of like, you know, when the waves, like energy waves,
cancel each other out.
And you're just back to reality again. Like, it's pretty good.
Nice. It was alright.
I can deal with this.
I don't know what this guy's talking about. That's funny.
Reverse therapy.
Reverse therapy, mate.
Perfect.
Yeah. But there's this guy. It's weird. Like, I'm into YouTubers, you know. I'm sure we all are.
Yeah.
And there's this one guy, Laugh. He's this big, tall guy, this American dude, a bit weird. I don't know. He's funny, right? And his whole channel for years was just him doing pranks on college campuses, but not shit pranks, like funny pranks, like walking up to people and trying to hold their hand as they walk by.
Yeah, that's it.
And just like trying to get them
just make them awkward and stuff.
Weird, funny shit. Like, can you talk to my mum for a sec? Like, you know, shit like this. And he was really successful, like millions of subscribers and all that stuff. And then he got to a point where he goes, "Well, this isn't sustainable. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right?
It's there's nothing to it. You know?
Right.
And so he started all his new videos. I love because he just sits down and does an interview with a person.
Oh,
right?
cool. Yeah.
And one of them that's really engaging is one with a schizophrenic, and that was the first footage that I'd ever seen of a schizophrenic ever. I don't know if I've ever met anyone, but and you know, you have kind of this, for me anyway, negative connotation of what that person might be. You know, they're crazy, they're this, they can't
screaming in the street.
That sort of thing. And this dude seemed
white jacket.
Right. This guy seemed pretty fucking normal to me, like a little bit weird, and kind of thought about a lot of things for longer before he would answer and all that shit.
Yeah.
But by all...
Was he jittery or was he different? Was his mannerisms different?
Well, very, very just...
Really? It is a scale, though. It's a spectrum of intensity with a diagnosis like schizophrenia.
Of course.
There was a video on Reddit recently, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, and it was a guy who filmed himself, like he set up his camera and was like, I'm filming this because I want you guys to see what it's like when I'm having an attack. Like, he knew, he was obviously aware that he was having an episode. And so he was in his lounge room, set up his camera, and he was convinced that there was someone at his front door. And he would sit there and be like obviously just like really trying to fight the urge to go and answer the door.
Yeah.
And he would just be like, I've just got to check. And he would get up and like open the door and shut it, and then like listen, and then like open the door and shut. Like, he was so convinced that there was someone at his door,
even after
but he was aware that it was a hallucination. But he couldn't beat it.
Right.
It was so interesting.
But even after he checked and seen that no one was there,
even after he checked and seen it was no one was there, he I'm pretty sure he thought like people were fucking with him or something like that. Okay. But he knew it wasn't real. Yeah, right. That was a bit that like. So you can have that awareness that what is going on is a hallucination, but you can't beat it.
Imagine that cunt gets what's it called? Nick knocking? Imagine Nick knocking that cunt's house.
The dog poop.
Is this a real flaming bag of shit? Or am I just imagining a flaming bag of shit?
Has this always been here?
I'll just leave it.
Is this thing
Did I put this here?
Mental illness is funny.
It is hilarious. Have you seen that movie? It's not. Disclaimer. It's not. We're joking. What's that movie with Michael Fassbender as
Assassin's Creed?
not Michael Fassbender. Who's the other dude
Wedding
in
Singer.
X-Men? Wedding Singer. No.
Ace Ventura.
No.
Blues Brothers?
He plays a schizophrenic and he's got like 12 different personalities.
Split.
What's his name?
What's the guy's name?
He's got a shaved head. In
Yeah.
the movie.
He plays
He's, like, really
he
crazy.
plays
He's in
Mr.
Wanted.
Yes,
Yeah.
he plays Mr. X or Dr. X in
fucking-
X-Men, right?
McAvoy.
McAvoy.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
The Split? No.
Split? No, it's really interesting.
I've got a good story about not seeing
him.
that. About not seeing it.
Oh, okay, cool. Mate, do tell.
It was a date that I went on one time, right? So I was going on this date with this chick, and I was like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" She goes, "Oh, fucking, let's go bowling, right?"
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Sick," and she lives down near Chadstone, near Chadstone, right?
Yep.
And so she's like, "There's a bowling alley there. It's a fucking AMF or whatever at Chadstone,
Yep.
I'm like, sick. So I drive all the way down there, pick her up, and we go to Chadstone, right? I don't ever go there, so I don't know
Why
where we're
would you?
going.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we walk around for ages, and we end up having to ask these random people, "Hey, where's the bowling at?" And they're like, "Oh, it's gone. They renovated the whole place. It doesn't fucking exist
they
here
did
anymore."
renovate it. Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're like, okay, cool. So we've got no activities to do. Sweet. Great start to the day, So I'm like, oh, well, let's go watch a movie then. Let's go watch a movie. And so she's like, yeah, sick. So we go upstairs, and we go, and Lion is on, and Split is on, and we're happy to see either of those, right?
Cool.
But the screenings don't start for about an hour and a bit,
Okay.
And so we're like, we'll come back, we'll go have a couple drinks, then we'll come back,
Yeah.
Perfect.
We don't buy the tickets. We go out for drink, right?
Mistake.
And I'm getting drunk, and so I'm getting a little rambunctious, blah, 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 fucking whatever, you know? And we're like, we'll see Split. We go back, we rock up like 5-10 minutes before the screening starts, we'll buy our tickets, we see on the thing.
Sold out.
Everything is sold out, right? Everything's fucking sold out. So now I'm at that point, I've accepted that the date is over.
Done.
And I want to go home,
Absolutely done.
This is fucked. So she's like, oh, well, maybe we could go to the Jam Factory or whatever. And then I'm like, no, because then I've got to drive us to Chapel Street, and then I've got to drive you back to wherever the fuck you live. Like, I'm not.
Doesn't even know the suburb he's in.
No.
Where are we? Whatever.
I'm not going to do that, right? So she was a lovely girl, but I didn't want to do that. And so I get we go back to the car, and I'm just happy to take her home, And it's so early. It's still so early in the night.
Yeah.
And I'm driving her back home, and she goes, oh, do you want to? I ask her, I'm like, are there any other cool spots around here? Like, this is your area. Are there any? Is there any bars around here? Any cool hangouts? But whatever, And she's like, I don't really know. Blah blah blah. I'm like, fuck. Okay, well, we're talking, and she owns an apartment, and she goes, do you want me to show you my apartment, right, that I own? So I think, fucking her apartment, sick, let's go.
Perfect.
Right, so we're driving to her apartment, and then we get there, and she's like, yeah, it's the one over there. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? She's like, well, people live there, And I'm like, but that's the one that I own. That's the one that I own, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay then. And so I had been talking about
Show and tell.
I had been talking about how I needed to wash my car, right? I needed to wash my car. And she's like, do you want to go wash your car? And I'm like, okay. So we go to a fucking car wash, and we were going to do... She goes, because she was excited to show me this particular automatic car wash.
That's funny.
So,
man.
but you have to prime the car. So me and her, this girl, late at night, she's got a big scrubber, like pre-scrubbing the windows, and I'm pre-scrubbing all the tyres, So we get back in the car, we load up for the ultimate premium VIP automatic car wash.
Because you've saved so much money from not going to the movies. You might as well load up.
So we drive into the automatic spot, and she's like, all right, this is all good, blah, blah, blah. She's like, get ready for it. And then it was actually pretty cool. What happened was, so like, it was like multicolored rainbow foam. It just goes...
Yeah.
And it kind of shoots out like a machine gun over the windshield, and then like rolls down, so it looks like a weird like melted rainbow paddle pop.
Yeah.
So like, okay, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
So we get out of the car, we inspect it, make sure it looks all schmick, and I'm like, all right, I'll drive you home now. And as I'm driving home, she's like, oh, wait. I'm like, she's like, pull over. I go, what? She's like, just pull over. I go, what? So we pull over and there's a dead fox in the middle of the road. Like there's roadkill. Yeah. And she goes, can you take a picture of that for me? I'm like, what? And she's like, my sister makes art, right? She's a painter.
Yeah.
And she paints photos, like recreations of roadkill. It's her whole thing, you know? And they're really good paintings, but that's what she does. So it's like late at night now, and I'm in the middle of the road taking a picture of this dead fox, going, where has this night, how has this night ended up at this point, right? Shit. So I finally drive her home, and I don't want to, you know, I'm parked at the front of her house, and we're sitting opposite each other, and I'm like, well, this was really weird, you know? And she goes, yeah, it was totally weird. I'm like, all right, well, good night, you know, it was good to hang out with you and all this stuff. Yeah. And she leans in to hug me, right? And I lean in to hug her, and I've got like one of my hands is free and I don't know what to do with it. So I literally like I've got one arm around her like this and I go I rub her head.
Pat her on the head.
Pat her on the head. And she gets out of the car and she's like, that was really awkward, you know? And she does like the awkward turtle. I'm like, yep, see you later.
That's amazing.
Oh,
and
God, then, that is amazing.
So second date?
And needless to say, you never heard from her again.
Oh, I'm not going to... I know it was shit, you know?
That is so funny, man. Hat on their head.
So the 180 date, the 180 360 date, went everywhere. It went everywhere.
Yeah, clean car.
Yeah,
clean car. And a funny story, I think.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a very, very good one.
Yeah.
First dates are such a gamble.
That's so good.
Yeah. You gotta have activities planned. You gotta have something
Definitely.
to do. Yeah.
You have to have something both of you can do together that takes attention off, like conversation,
Mini golf's
getting
a good
to know
one.
each other.
If you can go to the right spot.
What's the right spot?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Holy Molly's pretty good.
Holy moly's good.
If you live in the Greensboro area, the Greensboro mini golf is probably the best mini golf I've ever been to.
True. Okay. Dingley Adventure Golf is amazing too.
Dingley.
Outside, yeah. Might as well be on Mars.
For all the rural Australian listeners.
Put it this way, if you don't know where Chatty is, don't even try. Okay. Go to Dingley, trust me. But it's good. It's good. It's very, very handy.
Yeah, right.
I can't believe that. That's great.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Bad dates. Should we explore more of the bad dates? Or do we want to talk about more pressing issues?
I got mugged on a first date.
You got mugged? No shit.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really? That's amazing.
I was 17, I think. Maybe, 17.
By your date?
Yeah.
Or
Took off a wig.
Yeah. Surprise! Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
It was my own fault to a degree because I was working in the city at a restaurant and this girl came in. I don't know, she was probably around my age at the time. Gave her my number, arranged a date, went out for dinner in the city, went for a walk afterwards, just through the city, and ended up walking over Princess Bridge and down onto the Yarra, like the banks of the Yarra, which would have been fine if we'd gone right and gone down towards Crown. Yeah. Because there's heaps of people.
Of course. That's the way you
busy,
That's the way you go,
yeah.
We went left.
Oh.
And down into like where the parks are.
Okay.
Had a walk and then like we walked for about maybe 10 minutes and then it clicked. I was like, I feel like we should go back. Like it's dark, it's nighttime, no one else is around. Right. I'm with this girl who's from the country. She's pretty innocent. This doesn't feel right.
It's not working. Yeah.
I'm surprised she wasn't saying let's go back. You're taking her down.
Fucking guy. So anyway, we walked back and I saw it from a mile away. There was this gang of like, I don't know, 10 guys maybe walking towards us, and I was just like, fuck, here we go. Yeah. And one of them was like, oi mate, can I borrow $5? And I was like, no. And he was like, show me your wallet. And I was like, and he goes, show me your wallet. And I didn't say anything. I was like, alright. And luckily I had like a wad of, for some reason I had a wad of $5 notes. I think I got tips or something that night. Right. So I had like 6, 7 $5 notes. So I was able to, I had a chunk of cash. Yeah. My point is, but it wasn't much money. And I was like, oh, fuck man, or something like that, and a pause, and he was like, give me your fucking wallet. And I was like, oh. So I was like, look, here's the cash that I have. Yeah. You know, I'm with a girl, just, you know, let us through. Yeah. Because they were like in front of us, and I was like, she's my responsibility. And so they took the cash and like sort of parted, and I grabbed the girl and I was like, come on, let's just go.
Yeah.
And then made it up to the bridge, and she was like really shaking.
Yeah, of course.
So it worked out for me because she came back to my place. She was scared, and I was like, "Are you going to be okay to go home by yourself?"
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh no, no." I was like, "Why don't you come stay at my place?"
Yeah.
It was alright in the end. But yeah, weird
What
experience.
the fuck?
The only time I've ever been mugged.
There you go.
It was on a first date when I was 17.
Jesus.
Right.
Fuck, you got out of that pretty scot-free.
clean, man.
That's
yeah.
not
It was
bad.
like 25 bucks.
It's pretty
Very
good.
clean.
That's
Very,
a good
very
result.
clean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great result. You should have just given them $5 in the first place, man. You would have saved yourself $20.
No, but that's what it is. It's an open. It's a look, get your wallet out, and then they see if you've got any other money.
Yeah,
then
it
they
was-
go, "Well, give us." He
It
wants
was
$5.
on
He
from
wants
the start.
$5.
Like,
He
Yeah.
wants.
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. No car washes?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Gosh,
That's good. That's
no
good.
roadkill.
That's good. I don't think I've ever had any like real awkward dates. Like I've had like shit dates, like kind of boring-ish dates, but no real like no muggings, no crazy like lost adventures, things like that.
Right.
Probably just more. I don't know. Like I think the one that stands out, not even stands out, but more on the topic.
That's a jazz.
That's it, Jazz. So Jazz and I, no kidding, no. But I think what was I? Probably 17, same age as you.
Yeah.
And we went to the movies, and I remember I was. That's right. It was fucking awkward. That's why. So I was on my L's, right, and we got dropped off at the movies by my old man, but I drove, right. So he was like telling Danielle, the chick that I was going on a date with, in the back seat, like how good I was at driving, and I was just like, shut the fuck up, like I'm trying to be cool, I got a prelude, like just let us go through, like we'll be fine, relax. And he's like, he's been really good, he's getting his hours up, right? I was like, yeah, thanks Dad, like awesome. And she's just, oh yeah, cool, you must be really proud of him and all that sort of stuff. And in the back of my mind I'm thinking, this cunt's fucking ruining this film.
Yeah.
Without
Dad.
question. What, Dad? Shut the fuck up, kind of thing. And so the whole way there, he's like, yeah, cool. So where are you from? And I'm like, mate, just let us just. Can we just do this with the radio on? You know what I mean? Like, so it's less awkward and there's no noise like coming from your mouth and it's more from the radio. So anyway, we got there and it was all good. And she got out and she's like, cool, your dad's a really nice guy, which is in code is like, he's a fucking weirdo. Like, why was he talking up your driving while we're on the way to the movies? And so we went to the movies and it was all good. But then, thank fuck, like we got the bus back because we're only like 17, right? So I couldn't drive. So I was like, because Dad was like, oh, I'll pick you up later. And I was like, no, you're not picking us up. That's fine. We'll just get PT back. Keep it normal. But look, it didn't end that badly. I ended up seeing her for a little while after that, so that was okay. That was a good result, But he tried his best to fuck it up for me, man. Like the old man.
So that's the worst thing that happened, though.
He was probably having a boatload of fun.
Probably.
Like, from a
That's not bad,
it's not
though.
that bad, is it? That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to. He was alright. It was if that's the worst case, it was okay. Like she was cool. She was alright. She let me get away with it. You know what I mean?
I thought, Kez, you were going to say the girl wanted to pick up the roadkill and take it with her.
That would have been even.
She was like,
I wouldn't have let that slide.
No,
there's a limit. There's a limit.
So she wanted to take a photo for her sister
Because her sister paints the
Right,
pictures,
okay, cool.
and that's what we got the photo for. Yeah,
Yeah,
and she
okay.
showed me her sister's Instagram, and it's pretty good, man. Like it's pretty good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
May have helped with
Strange unit.
some art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not really sitting that well with me.
The Midori.
The Midori.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you drink it. I think you drank it a little bit too
Probably,
quickly.
didn't I? Yeah.
And you also have tall glass. Fuck, I can't even talk now.
you also have taller
you
glass.
also have a
It's working
taller
well for
glass
him.
than myself.
True.
How much time have we got on here?
Yeah, what are we running at?
What are we sitting at?
We're it's an hour 20.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I should really have a timer here so that I don't have to.
So we know.
Yeah.
That's not a bad get. Oh, so I've got a beef.
Here we go.
I need to bring this up, right?
Last week was the police force. This week,
Last week was a specific
Illinois,
police
the Illinois
force.
Police
Illinois
Department.
police force. Yep.
So this week it's a company close to home called Kogan. Now, for those that don't know, Kogan make a whole bunch of shit: phones, electronics, TVs, stereos.
They
whatever it might
absorbed
be.
Dick Smith.
Everything they did. They bought Dick Smith out.
Yeah.
So going back probably about 3 years ago now, I bought a smart TV, which turned out to be a really dumb TV, but it was a smart TV, and that's how it was advertised at the time, right? 4K, this, that, do this, it'll fucking do your dishes for you, everything. And I was like, all right, cool, $1,000, happy days, good investment. This is going from, where TVs used to be fucking 10 grand, and now they've come down. So I was like, yeah, why not 55 inch, which 3 years ago was pretty sizable. Bought the TV. Issue one was it was a little bit laggy, like few months gone in, like navigating menus, all that sort of stuff. Just a bit slow. The TV or the action took a little bit of time to catch up from when I pushed button on the remote. Right. As an example, right? Which is shit that you kind of get frustrated with in 2018. Yeah. But it's shit you just put up with. You know what I mean? Like, you've paid the money, fuck it, whatever, it's all good. And I knew that it was a budget TV. So I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, time goes by, we go overseas, we come back, TV's still there, no worries, haven't been burgled, happy days, still using the same TV, no problem. And then all of a sudden, starts turning off and on. Like, so flashing, black, white, black, white, black, white. I was like, oh, okay, well, this isn't going to work. So
clearly a poltergeist.
Clearly an issue, or a ghost, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Call Kogan. Right, your TV's fucked. I need to get this replaced. How's it going to work? Let's talk about this. And they're like, all right, well, first of all, it's out of warranty. 12-month warranty on the TV, which, look, fair enough, whatever. Yeah. But if there's an issue, we can test it, and if it's actually broken, they gave me a software update to try first, right? So try the software update, it'll fix the issue. Download this fucking X file on USB, put it in the computer, all these stupid things. And I did all the things that they requested.
Process, but that's
whatever. There was more steps involved, right? There was more steps involved. I'm just cutting. I'm
in the TV.
Yeah, right. I'm cutting it all down. I'm compressing this for you, right? So anyway, I did all the things that Mr. X asked me to do on the phone, and
Morpheus,
we'll call him, right? Didn't work. What a fucking surprise, right? Nothing works. Anyway, so the thing's still flashing on Kogan, black, Kogan, black. I was like, all right, cool. So Morpheus, it's not working. Help me. What are we going to do? And he's like, right, you have to send it back to us, and we'll test it. And if it doesn't work, we'll send you out a refurbished model. And I was like, what do you mean refurbished? He's like, well, they're basically brand new. They're TVs that when customers change their mind, they give them, they're the refurbished models, right? So they're like effectively secondhand, but not. They're effectively
out of the box.
Kind of, essentially. And I was like, all right, cool. So they tested it. It was fucked. Didn't work, whatever. So they replaced it, and I was like, all right, cool. That's good. New TV, different model, because the model doesn't exist anymore, obviously, because it's shit, which I found out. So got the new TV replaced, and then 10 months goes by, no issue whatsoever. Happy days, beautiful, watching things, this, that, everything. 10 months, same thing happens. Yeah. Go to turn it on one day, doesn't turn on. Then it'll flash on, flash off, flash on, flash off. Kogan black, right? Morpheus. Help me out. Like, throw me a bone, Morpheus. Now, this is where shit gets real, okay? Because I go to call the customer service number. What's happened in the 10 months? They don't have a line anymore to call. What? Yeah. So Kogan, bless their soul, don't have a customer service line that you call. You call the number and you speak to a robot. And I'm not talking a Google robot like we were talking about last night, where you can actually have a conversation.
Press 1 if you have a problem.
Welcome to Kogan. We value your call, but we don't have any humans to take your call. Yeah. So press 1 to end the call. Doing the call. Dude. Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling. We appreciate your time. Anyway, so I call another department of Kogan, because they've got a million fucking departments, phones and all the rest of it. Yeah. And I ended up fucking reaming this dude out on the phone, because I'm like, why the fuck doesn't your TV department have a line? Yeah. And he's like, I don't know, it's not my department. Exactly. I just work here. Don't shoot the messenger. And so I find out, he's like, oh, they've got an email. They only deal via email. And I email the guy, and I'm like, Morpheus, help me out. Like, what are we doing? And after very, very many colourful emails, there's like a 65 email chain. It's hectic that goes from, ever. Anyway, so the guy's like, oh yeah, we don't deal via the phone because we can help more people via email. And I'm like, hang on. So you're telling me you don't have a phone service because you want to help more people? Yeah. So it's easier to wait 4 hours to get an email back from the company.
And what it sounds like is the 65 email chain has taken a lot longer than one phone call.
A lot longer, correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the by and the large is sent it back, got another TV, then 10 months went by, broke again, and I was like, what's going on, right? It's been 12 months. They're like, oh, well, it's out of warranty. I was like, okay, so what? You're telling me you don't warranty these new TVs, or your replacement TVs are only designed to last 10 months, and then they fuck up. And he's like, oh, it's just the way it works. I'm like, well, no, it's not the way it works. Because I paid $1,000 for it, right?
Yeah.
And at this stage, I'm like, give me $500. We'll call it even.
Yeah.
Right? That was the plan. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to have another TV. I don't want to send it back. I've wasted all the time. And so when I moved to Hawthorne, right, I got a replacement and it was fine. So the replacement had come, no worries. This second time it happened. And then when I got to Hawthorne, after about 3 weeks, wouldn't turn on.
Wait, are we on the third TV now?
Third TV.
Third TV.
Third TV.
Yeah.
Third TV. This is TV 3.
Yeah.
3, right? So anyway, and we're at a stage now where, as you can imagine, I'm just buying a new TV from another company.
I would suggest that.
Yeah, cool. So I bit the bullet after all these months.
Did you buy it from Kogan?
Nearly. They had a really good deal. No, I didn't buy it from Kogan. I bought a Samsung.
Okay.
So thank fucking Christ I did that, because I could sleep, you know, I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to worry anymore. I didn't have to go check my emails again. I didn't have to send Morpheus more emails to get things done. And so anyway, so we're still back and forth, and it's, what are we now? May 20th, 2018. I've still got a fucking TV in my lounge room in a box, ready to be picked up, because these cunts came the other day when I wasn't home to pick it up. And then I called Allied Express, who are the toll people. They're another fucking piece of work. So they are like, oh yeah, the guy's on his way. He's out the front. Oh, is he out the front? He wasn't out the front. Like, I was there. I was at my house and she's telling me where the guy is. And he wasn't there. So anyway, so she's like, well, you'll be home Monday. And I was like, well, yes. But I need to know when he's going to come. She's like, the earlier the better. I was like, great. I'll see you Monday. So anyway, so now we're getting rid of the third TV. And they're going to send me another one. And then I'm going to sell it. Because all I want to get is my $500 off the TV and then leave it for dead.
Don't plug it in.
Yeah, don't even touch it. Make it look like it's brand new.
Because, and the other one that they sent me, like this third TV, was fucking smashed. It had like a big crack through it. Yeah. That's another reason.
What do you mean they sent you a smash?
Because it happened in transit. It happened in transit. So if I couldn't imagine, other things couldn't go wrong. It gets broken in transit. Like, after all this time. I
lost it.
I don't understand.
So you unwrapped the box.
And it's already fucked.
It's already fucked.
Yeah. Like, what they're going to do is the fourth TV's just going to be, it's going to be ground up black particles just in a bag.
Yeah. Oh man. So look, the long story short is just spend the money on it. Spend the money on TV. I'm at a loss. I'm already at a loss. You know. Dude. So look, the moral of the story is, if you're gonna
don't purchase through Kogan.
Just exactly.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't put yourself through the misery of dealing what I've been through this last few years.
You are an 80-year-old man. Trapped in a 30-year-old body.
I don't need the issues.
I understand.
I get it, but this is like an old person issue.
It's just fucked though. Like, why? It's just make it work, man. Spend the money on a good TV. Basically. Don't go to Kogan. Just buy a good TV.
I would have just thrown it out after the first one.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a pretty good sign-off point.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
So if you've got any questions or TV recommendations or
feedback as well, leave a comment.
Hit us up. Leave a comment below.
Call us.
Let us know.
Email us.
Don't call it. Email us. We don't have a phone service.
Yeah.
Fucking Kogan.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coat, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz.